Pink Floyd did not just make an album about isolation, they made isolation into stage design. By the late 1970s, Pink Floyd were enormous. The Dark Side of the Moon had turned them into album rock royalty. Wish You Were Here made absence sound cosmic. Animals made society sound like a very expensive nervous breakdown. But the bigger Pink Floyd got, the worse the distance felt. Roger Waters had started to feel separated from the audience. The shows had become huge, loud, and impersonal, and the connection between band and crowd felt broken. The famous starting point was the 1977 Animals tour, with a Montreal show becoming the emotional tipping point. Waters imagined a wall between the performer and the audience. Most people would call a therapist. Pink Floyd made a double album, a stage show, and eventually a movie. Extremely progressive rock behavior. The Wall, released in 1979, follows a rock star named Pink as he builds an emotional wall around himself. And the important thing is that the wall is not built all at once. It is built brick by brick. One brick is the absence of his father. One brick is his mother. One brick is school. One brick is humiliation, fame, a failed relationship, and the way pain can start as protection, then quietly become a prison. That is why the wall works. It is not just school is bad with a giant chorus, even though that is the part everybody knows because classic rock radio loves a chant. The bigger idea is more uncomfortable. What if every wound becomes part of the personality? What if the thing you build to survive becomes the thing that traps you? Musically, the album works because it does not stay in one mood for 80 minutes. It moves between tiny acoustic fragments, huge theatrical rock, children's voices, military menace, pop hooks, and some of David Gilmour's most dramatic guitar playing. Roger Waters gives the album its concept and pressure, but Bob Ezrin helped shape the story into something cinematic, and the band still mattered. That contrast is basically the whole album. The Wall keeps moving between numbness and explosion. Pink wants to feel nothing, but the music keeps proving he is feeling everything. The quiet moments sound like a locked room. The big moments sound like the room catching fire. And then there is Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2. The strangest twist in the story. Pink Floyd made an anti-authority song with a children's choir and accidentally created one of their most recognizable singles. People hear the school rebellion. The album hears another brick being added. That is the genius of the title. A brick seems small. One bad teacher, one bad memory, one bad loss, one bad show, one bad relationship. None of them looks like the whole wall. But stack enough of them, and suddenly you have built an entire worldview. The stage show made that metaphor literal. Pink Floyd performed while a wall was built across the stage, slowly separating the band from the crowd. A rock band complaining about alienation by hiding behind architecture in front of thousands of paying people. Incredible. No notes, but it worked because it was honest about the contradiction. Rock stardom promises connection, but fame can also turn people into symbols, products, targets, and projections. The person on stage becomes less human the more famous they get, so Pink disappears behind the wall. Then isolation mutates into control. The fantasy stops being leave me alone and becomes authoritarian, hateful, and ugly. The Wall is not saying isolation makes you deep and mysterious. It is saying isolation can rot. It can turn self-protection into cruelty. That is why the ending has to be a trial. Pink's own mind puts him on trial. The wall comes down, but the album does not end with a clean victory lap. It feels circular, like the damage can start again if nobody learns anything. Very cheerful, great one for the car, but that is why the wall still lasts. It is a machine for explaining how people shut down. It takes grief, school trauma, fame, romance, politics, and depression, then stacks them into one symbol anyone can understand. A wall protects you. A wall isolates you. A wall keeps other people out, and eventually, it keeps you in. Pink Floyd did not just write a dark concept album. They turned alienation into architecture, sold it to stadiums, and somehow made millions of people sing along to the sound of someone disappearing. Classic rock. Very normal, very healthy, very good at making emotional damage sound expensive.